Hello dear aspirants, welcome back to Vyasa IAS CSAT course in the lecture of ratio and proportion. So let us start with this. Now what is ratio and proportion? Let's try to understand this. Uh, from the past two actually period, we were doing percentages and interest. Okay, and we have done profit and loss. Now the progression goes to ratio and proportion. So when we study ratio and proportion, we even study percentages very well. Okay, so let us start with this. Fine. Now what is ratio? So when we are comparing any two numbers, so that comparison will come out in terms of ratio. For example, 10 by 5 is there. So you can write this as 2 is to 1. So what that means is that this 10 is 2 times that of 5, or they are in the ratio 2 is to 1. Okay, or they are in the ratio 2 is to 1. So the ratio of number x to the ratio of number y is defined as the quotient of the number x and y. Okay, the ratio of number x to a number y is defined as the quotient of the number x and y. Fine. Now, what is ratio? Ratio is actually numerator upon denominator. Okay, ratio is actually some numerator upon denominator. So, we take this, we call this n as antecedent. The numerator of any ratio, we call this as antecedent, and the denominator of any ratio, we call it as consequent. Okay, so the numerator of ratio is called as antecedent and the denominator of the ratio is called as consequent. Fine. So we have already seen that ratio is about comparison of two numbers. That is, if we take 10 is to 5 or 4 is to 2 or 6 is to 3, or let us say 14 is to 7 or 3.5 is to 7. So all these are denoting the same ratio, what? 2 is to 1. So each one of these represents the ratio 2 is to 1. Okay, each one of these represent the ratio 2 is to 1. Now, see, if we try to express ratio in terms of percentages, okay. So, for example, 2 by 4 is there. So, we can write that this ratio can be said that 1 by 2 means 50%. Okay, 1 by 2 means 50%. 1 is to 1 means 100%. Okay. Similarly, 2 is to 1 will mean 200%. Okay. So if anything is in the ratio 2 is to 1, that means this is 200% of that. Okay. Similarly, if you see, let us say 1 is to 4. 1 is to 4. So what does 1 is to 4 means? It means 25%. Okay. What does 1 is to 4 means? It means 25%. So see, conversion of ratio to percentages is very easy. It is just that anything you take like 3 by 6 into 100. So that means you are converting this ratio into 100. So that means what? 50%. So 3 by 6 is 1 is to 2 is 50%. Okay. So this is how, this is what is the relation between percentages and ratio is. Okay, fine. Let's now see this. Now, if we multiply the numerator and the denominator of a ratio by the same number, the ratio remains unchanged. Okay. So we have A by B. If we multiply this as MA and MB, then this ratio will remain unchanged. Okay. Then this ratio will remain unchanged. So for example, if you are given 1 is to 2 and you multiply 3 to the denominator and 3 to the numerator as well. So that will become 3 is to 6. So again the ratio is 1 is to 2 only. The ratio doesn't change. Okay. The ratio doesn't change. Fine. Let's move on to the another property. Now, if we divide the numerator and denominator of the ratio by the same number, the ratio remains the same. Okay. So, for example, we are taking 3 by 6 only. Now, I divide this 3 by 3 and I divide this 6 by 3. So, earlier, what is the ratio? 1 is to 2. Now, what is the ratio? Again, 1 is to 2. Okay. For example, I am taking 7 by 14 and I am dividing this 7 by 3 by 5 by 3.5. Okay, so if I am dividing this 7 by 3.5, what is this becoming? 2. And if I am dividing this 14 by 3.5, what is this becoming? 4. Okay, what is this becoming? 4. Fine. So earlier the ratio is 1 is to 2, and now the ratio is 2 by 4, that means 1 is to 2. So you can obviously check that whenever you multiply any ratio by the same number or divide any ratio by the same number, the ratio will be equal to a by b, that is the ratio remains unchanged. Okay, the ratio remains unchanged. Now I hope everybody must be clear with this property. Now let's move forward. Okay, the magnitude of two ratios can be compared by equating the denominator of the two ratios and then checking the value of the numerator. Okay, the magnitude of two ratios can be compared by equating the denominators of the two ratios and then checking the value of the denominator. Okay, so for example, if you are given some ratio 9 by 17 and 8 by 3, okay, so how will you tell which ratio is greater and which ratio is smaller? Although here you can evidently tell that this ratio is smaller because 3 will multiply, this 8 is greater than 3 and the 17 is uh, less than sorry, greater than 9. Okay, so you can obviously tell that this ratio will be less than this ratio. Okay, but let us see what is the comparison method. So let us say some like 9 by 8 and 8 by 7 by 8. Okay, which one of the ratio is greater? 7 by 8 not. Okay, okay, sorry. Let us take 9 by 8 and 7, 6 by 7. Or let us take 8 by 9 and 6 by 7. Okay, so we take these two numbers are very alike. Okay, because these are just one short of this. Now we have to tell which one of the ratio is greater or smaller. Okay, so what it is saying that we first equate the denominators and then we compare which ratio is bigger. So what we are saying that we do this as 9 sevens are 63. Okay, so you have this 56 by 63 and you have this as you will do 8 here and you will do 7 here. Okay, and you will do 7 here, obvious, sorry, you will do 7 here and you will do 9 here. Okay, you will multiply 8 by 7 and you will multiply 9 by 9 into 6 and then you will compare. Okay, and then you will compare. So this is what 56 by 63 and this is what 9 6 are 54 into 63. Okay, you, because these are both co-prime numbers, we took the LCM to equate. Okay, these are both co-prime numbers, so I'll multiply 8 into 7 and I will multiply 9 into 6. So I know 8 sevens are 56 and 8 9 and 9 6 are 54. So which ratio is greater? Obviously this one. So that means 8 by 9 is greater than 6 by 7. Okay, 8 by 9 is greater than 6 by 7. So I hope everybody is clear with this. Now let's move forward. Now see, the ratio of two fraction can be expressed as a ratio of two integers. Okay, so we have this two fraction a by b and c by d. Okay, so the ratio of these two fractions can be expressed as the ratio of two integers. Okay, so which integers? So for example, you have to calculate the ratio of 1 is to 2 and 3 is to 4. Okay, here a by b is equals to what? 1 by 2, and your here c by d is equals to what? C by d is equals to 3 by 4. Now to calculate the ratio of 1 is to 2 and 3 is to 4, that is ratio of 0.5 and 0.75. Okay, what is the ratio? You will do AD. Okay, numerator of one multiply with the denominator of another and numerator of another multiply with the denominator of another. So you will do AD by BC. Okay, now what is A? A is 1. What is D? D is 4. What is B? B is 2. What is D? What is C? C is 3. So you have this. So this came to be 2 by 3. Okay, this came to be 2. So this comes to be 2 by 3. Okay, this comes to be 2 by 3. Fine. Let us move forward. Now look at this property. What this property is saying, if either or both the terms of the ratio are surd, then the ratio will never evolve into integral numbers unless the surd quantities are equal. So we have, let's say, root 3 by 2 and root 2 and root 2. Okay, so this ratio will never be integral. Okay, this ratio will never be integral. We have root 3 and 3 root 3. Okay, so this ratio can be 1 is to 3, but this surd has to get cancelled. If this surd doesn't get cancelled, then we will never get an integer as ratio. Okay, we will never get any integer as ratio. So whenever the surds are involved, surds are what? Basically, you are using this root symbol and then you are writing a number inside. So that is called surd. Now, if now this surd is getting cancelled here because what? 2 square and this root, so this is getting cancelled, so this can be integer. Okay, so that is what the statement is saying. If either or both the terms of the ratio are surd, then the ratio will never evolve into integral numbers unless the surd quantities are equal. Okay, then the ratio will never evolve into integral numbers unless the surd quantities are equal. Fine. Now, when the ratio a by b is compounded with itself, the resulting ratio is a square by b square, and this a square b square is called duplicate ratio. Okay, see, sometimes these kinds of terms are used, try to understand them. So, if we are talking about a by b, so this is some kind of ratio. Okay, now if we are talking about a square by b square, so this is a kind of duplicate ratio. Okay, this ratio is called duplicate ratio. And if we are talking about a cube by b cube, this ratio is called triplicate ratio. This ratio is called triplicate ratio. Okay. And if we are talking about a to the power 0.5 divided by b to the power 0.5, this is called subduplicate ratio. Okay, this ratio is called subduplicate ratio. Fine. Okay. Um, I hope everybody understand this. When the ratio a by b is compounded with itself, the resulting ratio is called. So, whenever a ratio is compounded with itself, so that means you are doing a by b into a by b. Okay. So this is called compounding by itself. And if you are compounding ratio a square by b square, then it is going to be a square by b square. So that is will become a to the power 4 and b to the power 4. So I hope you understand what do we mean by compounding the ratio. Okay, and if any time in the question it is giving you the terms like there is duplicate ratio or triplicate ratio, so that means a square by b square or a cube by b cube, or and if they are saying it is giving you subduplicate ratio, then you can write a to the power zero point 0.5 and b to the power 0.5. Okay, so this is what I mean. Fine. Now look at this. If look at this, if A by B is equals to C by D is equals to E by F is equals to G by H is equals to K, then K is equals to what? A plus C plus E plus G divided by B plus D plus F plus H. Okay. So for example, if I am doing this, see, this is very like common sense. Okay, how I will tell you. See, if you are having, let's say, a is equals to 3, then b is equals to 6, and you are having c is equals to 4, then d is equals to 8. Okay, and you are having e is equals to let's say 5, and you have d is sorry, f is equals to 10, and then you have g is equals to 6, and you have h is equals to 12. So, and what is K here? K is, see, A by B is equals to C by D is equals to E by F is equals to G by H. This all is equals to 1 by 2. This all is equals to 1 by 2. Fine. This every one of this is equals to 1 by 2, and that is our K here. Okay. Now just add all these and you will find that this is equal to k. Okay, now just add all these and you will find this is equals to k. So you have 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. Now you add 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus 12. So what is this? This is this will be 8, and 8 plus 10 is equals to 18. Okay, this is 8, and 8 plus 10 is equals to 18, and this is what? 14. 14 plus 10 is equals to 24, and 24 plus 12 is equals to how much? 36, and this is equals to 1 by 2, and that is equals to k. Okay, so see, always remember this property. This property can be of help. For example, if you are not given one of these numbers, okay, if you are not given one of these numbers and you are given all of this, so definitely you can put here, you can substitute here, and you can calculate. Okay, so I hope this property is clear to all of you. Now let's move forward. Now you have this. If a listen to this very carefully. If a1 by b1 and a2 by b2 and a3 by b3 and an by bn are unequal fractions, okay, unequal fractions means what? This a by b, like in this question, this a by b, c is equal to c by d, is equals to e by f, is equals to g by h, is equals to k. So these are what? All equal fractions. But when I am saying that these are all unequal fractions, I mean a1 by b1 is not equal to a2 by b2, is not equal to a3 by b3, is not equal to an by bn. Okay, is not equal to an by bn. So this is unequal fraction. Okay, this is unequal fraction. So basically this lies between the highest and the lowest of the fraction. Okay, this lies between the highest and the lowest of the fraction. So a1 plus a2 plus a3 plus an and b1 plus b2 plus b3 plus bn. So these will a1 plus a2 plus a3 dot 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 an and b1 plus b2 plus b3 dot 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 bn. So this will lie, this addition will lie between the highest and the lowest fraction. So let us consider that a2 by b2 is the lowest of all. Okay, and let's say a3 by b3 is the highest of all. We are assuming. So this addition will be greater than, okay, this addition will be greater than a2 by b2. Okay, and this addition will be less than a3 by b3. Okay, this addition will be less than a3 by b3. So I hope everybody is okay with this thing. Now let's move forward. Okay, now look at this. If we have two equations, okay, if we have two equations containing three unknowns, okay, see, you always must know this fact from the linear equation, that if we have two equations, okay, if we have, let's say, two equations and two unknowns, okay, we have two equations and two unknowns, this is easily solvable. Okay, if we have three equations and three unknowns, we can solve that. If we have four equations and four unknowns, we can solve that. So basically, to know about what is this term, okay, what is this variable, we need the जितने भी टर्म हमारे होंगे अननोन्स है ना, we need that many number of equations. So always remember this thing, because this is very important in data sufficiency type of question. Okay, so for example, if you are given, let's say, four equations and you are given three unknowns, yes, data is sufficient and it is more than sufficient. But if you have, let's say, four unknowns and you are given three equations, then you cannot find the answer because data is insufficient. Okay, but you cannot find the exact answer, but you can still find the ratio. Okay, you cannot find the exact answer, but you can still find the ratio. So for example, you are given x, y, z as unknowns, and you have been given two equations. So that is a1x plus b1y plus c1z is equals to 0, and a2x plus b2y plus c2z is equals to 0. Now there are three variables, x, y, z. Okay, so you can calculate their ratio. How you can calculate their ratio? Right, b1 by b2 here. See, If you have to find about x, so you will not write a1 a2. Okay, you will write b1 b2 and c1 c2. And if you want to find about y, so write C1, C2 and A1, A2. And if you want to find about z, so write what? A1, A2 and B1, B2. So what is the ratio? This B1, C2 minus B2, C1, that will give your ratio number for x. For y, c1 a2 minus c2 a1, that will give your ratio number for y. And for z, a1 b2 minus a2 b1, that will give your ratio number for this. Okay, so in this way you can find the ratio at least. Okay, you can find the ratio of x is to y is to z, which is b1 c2 minus b2 c1, c1 a2 minus c2 a1, and a1 b2 minus a2 b1. So what we did here is nothing but took x, y, z, wrote it in the form of a ratio, and then we are writing b1, b2 and c1, c2, and then we are writing c1, c2, a1, a2, and then we are writing a1, a2 and b1, b2. So I hope this is clear to everybody. Okay, I hope this is clear to everybody. Now let's move forward. Fine. Now look at this property. What is this property saying? If the ratio A by B is greater than 1, uh, okay, and if K is a positive number, if K is a positive number, this ratio is greater than 1, okay, and K is a positive number, then whenever you will add some K, okay, whenever you will add some K, this will be less than A by B, okay. So if your A by B is greater than 1 and you are adding the same number in the numerator and denominator, the resulting thing will become what? Less than A by B. So for example, we are taking, let's say, 5 by 4. This is greater than 1. Okay, 5 by 4 is greater than 1. Now let us add K. So I am adding K. Okay, that means K, let us take 3. Okay, I am taking 3. Now if I'm adding 3 in my numerator as well as in my denominator, so what I am getting? 8 by 7. 8 by 7. Now this property says that this 8 by 7 is less than 5 by 4. Okay, this 8 by 7 is less than 5 by 4. Let us check this. Okay, how can we check this? We take their common 28, and in this what you will do, you will multiply this by 4, you will get 32, and you will multiply this by 8, you will get 40. So you have 40 by 28 and 32 by 28. Which is bigger? This one is bigger. So always remember, if a plus k, if a by b is greater than 1 and you add any number in both the denominator and numerator, then this a plus k divided by b plus k is always less than a by b. Okay, is always less than a by b. Similarly, if a by b is greater than 1 and if you subtract any number k from this, so let's take 6 by 5, okay, and k let us take equal to 4, okay. Now I am subtracting number. So a by b is greater than 1, we know this, okay. Now subtract 6 minus 4 and 5 minus 4, so that means what? 2. Now we know 2 is greater than 6 by 5, because 6 by 5 will come 1 point something, okay. 10 by 5 will come 2, okay. 10 by 5 will come 2. So here what it is saying, that if a by b is greater than 1, then a minus k divided by b minus k will always be greater than, okay, sorry, will always be greater than a by b. Okay, if a by b is greater than 1, then a minus k divided by b minus k will always be greater than a by b. Fine. Now let us take another property. You have a by b less than 1. Okay. A by b less than 1. Then a plus k divided by b plus k greater than a by b. Okay. So if a by b is less than 1. So 4 by 5 is less than 1, we know. Now add 4 in the denominator and numerator, for example. So we obtain 8 by 10. Okay, we obtain what? We obtain 8 by 9. Now let us compare this 4 by 5 and 8 by 9. So we write 45, and this is what? This is 36. Okay, and this is what are you sorry. Yes, this will be 36. And what are you going to multiply here? Uh, you are going to multiply, you are going to multiply 5 here. So you have 40 by 45. So you obviously know this 40 by 45 is greater. So when you added, what came is greater. So we always know when a by b is less than 1. So a plus k divided by b plus k is coming to be what? Less than a by b. So a by b is what? This, because this is 4 by 5. Okay, and this is coming to be less than this. Okay, so I hope you understand this concept. Now let's look at the another concept. When a by b is less than 1, so a minus k divided by b minus k should be less than a by b. Okay, so this a by b is less than 1. Okay, a by b is less than 1. So 4 by 5 is less than 1. Now I am subtracting, let's say k is equals to 3. So 4 minus 3 and 5 minus 3. So this is coming to be 1 by 2. Now this 4 by 5 is greater than or less than 1 by 2. Let us find out. So we have this 4 by 5. This is 1 by 2. We have 10. Okay. And this will come to be what? 8. And this will come to be what? 5. Okay, 5. So this is definitely less than 5 by 10, or 1 by 2 is less than 4 by 5. This is what the it is saying, that if your a by b is less than 1, so your a minus k divided by b minus k will be less than a by b. Okay, so try to remember this. This can come very handy in your question when you are solving your problems. This will be very helpful to you. So I hope you can do this. Now let's move forward. Okay, now look at this. Maintenance of equality when the numbers are added in both numerator and denominator. Okay, maintenance of equality when the numbers are added in both numerator and denominator. So we are having number, a ratio a by b, and then we are adding a c to a, that is we are adding c in the numerator and we are adding d in the denominator. Okay, so this a by b will be equal to this a plus c divided by b plus d only and only if c by d is equals to a by b. Okay, c by d is equals to a by b. Are you getting my point? I am saying you have a by b. Okay, and we are adding something c to the numerator and we are adding some number d to the denominator. Now this will be equal to a by b only in case your a by b is equals to c by d. Okay, I hope you understand this thing. Okay. Now, the ratio of addition should be equal to the original ratio to maintain the equality of the ratio when two numbers are added in the denominator and numerator, which is the same thing. What they are saying, the ratio of addition. So, ratio of addition is what? C by D should be equal to the original ratio. What is the original ratio? A by B, to maintain the equality of the ratio when the two numbers are added, that is A plus C and B plus D. Okay, so I hope everybody is clear with this thing. Now let us move forward. Okay, now see, if look at this, if C by D is greater than A by B, then C plus A and B plus D is will be greater than A by B. Okay, and similarly, if C by D is less than A by B, then C plus A divided by B plus D will be less than A by B. Okay, this is very simple. The same relation. Okay, you just add this here and it will be less, and if you add this here, it will be less. Okay, so this is simple. Now let's move forward. Okay, ratio as a now we have to see different uses of ratio. Okay, different uses of ratio we are seeing. So when we are seeing when we are visualizing ratio as a multiplier. Okay, so for example, a is to b is given as 3 is to 1. Okay, so that means a is equals to 3 times of b. Okay, that means a is equals to 3 times of b. So this is what the ratio is saying. If it is saying a by b, a is to b is equals to 4 is to 5. Okay, is equals to 4 is to 5. So basically what does it mean? That a by b is equals to 4 is to 5. That means a is equals to 4 by 5 times of b, or b is equals to 5 by 4 times of a. So basically ratio is a kind of multiplier. Okay, ratio is a kind of multiplier, or ratio is a kind of percentage as well. Okay, so for example, if it is saying a is to b is equals to 3 is to 1, so that means a is 300% of b. Okay, a is 300% of b. So you have to interpret mathematical equation in your own words. Okay, see, there is a very simple concept in life. If you can interpret words in forms of equation, and if you can express your equation in the form of words, then you can understand everything. Okay, you have to interpret your words in form of equation, and you have to interpret your equation in form of words. Then you will be able to understand everything. So I hope you are clear with this thing. Okay, fine, let's move forward. चलिए. Now look at this, how to compare ratio. Okay, so see, one comparison method we have already seen. There is another method to compare ratio. We have this 12 by 17 and 15 by 19. Okay, you cross multiply this. Okay, so 12 into 19 you do, and 17 into 15 you do. Whichever will be the bigger one, that one will be the ratio. Okay, so 12 into 9 you will do, so this will come to be 108, and this will come to be 12, so this will come to be 228. All right, and 17 into 15 you will do. Okay, so this will come to be what, 85, and this will come to be 17, so this will come to be how much, 255. Okay, so which one is bigger? Obviously 17 into 15 is bigger than 12 into 19. So definitely your which one will be bigger? Your this one will be bigger. Okay, your this one will be bigger. Fine. So this is a very simple concept to compare ratio, just cross multiply. But like if you are given like this, 3989 divided by 4989 and 3876 divided by 4796. So will cross multiplication will be a simple method? Definitely not. Okay, cross multiplication is not, it's definitely not simple here. Okay, so we can use other methods, and those other methods we are going to see further. Okay, dear aspirants, so now let us see other methods of how to compare ratio. So now we are looking on the cross multiplication method. We have already seen the cross multiplication method. Now let us see other methods by which we can compare our ratios. All right. So look at this. We are calling this as percentage value comparison method. Okay. So 173 and 212. Okay, and 181 and 241. Now you have to compare the percentage value. Okay, now what is 212? 212 ka half is 106, we know. Okay, and this is 106 plus 73 divided by 212. So we know this 106 plus 212, 106 divided by 212 is 50%. Now let us see about this. Now 106 divided by 2 will be what? This will be 2 5 times. Okay, and 2 3 times, 53. Okay, 106 divided by 2 will be 53. Fine. So we know that 53 is half of half. That means this is 25%. Okay, 53 is 25% of 212. So 53 by 212 you write, and then the left is 212. So this is 50 plus 25%. Now what about 20? What about 20? So half of 53 is how much? Half of 53 is 2 twos are 4. Okay. And you have 2 6 times is 12. Okay. And then you have 26.5. Okay. So that means this 20 is less than 12.5. Okay, because half of 25 is 12.5, so this 20 is less than 12.5. Okay, now what will be half of this? Half of um, this will be 12, sorry, this will be 13.25. Okay, so if you can write this 13.25, fine, you can write this 13.25 plus we can write this as 7.75. Okay, so this 13.25 is what? Actually 6.25. Okay, 6.25. So this is 50 plus 25, that is 75, plus 6.25, that is 81.25, and your left is 7.75. Okay, 7.75. So we know 10% of this 212 is 2.12, and this is approximately 3 to 4. This is less than 3, and this is less than 4 times and more than 3 times. So this is, let us say, between 3.5. So we can, this is 84.5%. Okay, this is coming to be 84.5%. What? This. All right. Okay, fine. Now let us look at what is 181 of 241. Okay, what is 181 of 241? Okay, 241 and 181. Fine. So half of 241 is 120.5. Okay. So we can write this as 125.5 and 60.5. Okay, we can write this as 125.5 and 60.5. So this is 50%. Fine. And we know half of 120 plus 4, zero point 0.5 is 60.25. So this is little more than 25%. So let like write this. This is coming to be 75%. This is coming to be 84.5%. So obviously this is bigger. Okay, obviously this is bigger. So this is how you can calculate in terms of percentages. All right, this is how you can calculate in terms of percentages. So I hope you understand this. What we did is to compare these ratio 173 divided by 212 and 181 divided by 214. So what I am doing here is basically I am trying to calculate what is the percentage here. Okay. So I know how I did this. I wrote this as 106. Okay, 106 plus something you can write. What will you write this thing? Okay, so 173 minus 106. So this is coming to be how much? This is coming to be this was 7 and 67. Okay, so 106 plus 67 divided by 212. Okay, divided by 212. We can write this as 173 as 106 plus 67. So 106 divided by 212 is what? 50% plus 67. Okay, 67 divided by 212. So we know this 67 is, if you do half of this, that will be 53. Okay, so 53 plus how much is left? 14 more is left. Okay, so you have 106 divided by 212, 53 divided by 212. Okay, and 14 divided by 212. Okay, 14 divided by 212. Now this is what? This is 50%. This is 25%. Fine. And this is 14 more. So this 14 more is how much? 14 divided by 212. Now 10% of 212 is what? 2.12. Okay, so 7 if you multiply in this, so you will get something 14, and if you multiply 6, so this will be between 6 and 7. Okay, this will be between 6 and 7 because this 6 twos are 12, 1, and this is 7, and this is 12, so 12.72. Okay, so this is 12.72. Fine. uh, and this is 14. Okay, so it is let us take this as 6.5%. Okay, 6.5%. So we have 75 plus 6.5. Okay, so approximately 81.5% we are getting here. Okay, 81.5% we are getting here. And what about this one? This one is 181 and divided by 241. So I know half of 241 is 120.5. Okay, half of 241 is 125, half of 120 is 60.25. Okay, and this is making how much? This is approximately um, 120.5 and 60.5 is how much? This will become 0, 1, and this is 181. Okay, so your just 0.25 is left, and we will divide this by 241, 241. Okay, so this is how much? This is 50%, this is 25%, and this is, let us ignore this, so this is coming to be 75%. So we know this one is greater than this one. Okay, this one is greater than this one. So this is how you can calculate this. Okay, this is the percentage method. See, where you will use the percentage method, obviously if you are very much comfortable with the percentage. And second thing is when this is divided by this. Okay, so if you are using that cross multiplication method, so just imagine how much you have to multiply. Okay, just imagine how much you have to multiply. So you don't need this to happen. Okay, you don't need this to happen. So this is the thing. Now let us look at the numerator and denominator percentage change method. Okay, so in this method, see, that is the percentage method, that is different, and this is another numerator denominator percentage change method. See, what I am seeing here is how much percentage change is there in the numerator and denominator. Okay, how much percentage change is there in the numerator and denominator. Fine. So see, if numerator is increasing more, that means the ratio is increasing, and if denominator is decreasing more, so that means the ratio is increasing, and if denominator is increasing more, that means the ratio is increasing. Okay. So sorry, that means the ratio is decreasing. See, remember this thing. If your numerator is increasing, the ratio will increase. Okay, if your numerator is constant, your denominator is increasing, then the ratio is decreasing. Okay, and if your numerator is constant and denominator is decreasing, then your ratio is increasing. Okay, and the combined effect we can see, we will see how we can calculate. Okay, so let's just find out how much there is percentage change. So 173 to 181, we know this much is increasing, and 212 to 225, this is also increasing. So how much is the percentage change? Okay, how much is the percentage change? So we know we have this 17.3, 181 minus 173 divided by 173, that is the percentage. So if you subtract 181 minus 173, how much are you going to get? You are going to get 8 here. Okay, you are going to get 8 here. Okay, so this. Fine. Now we know this 173, 10% of 173 is what? 17.3. And if you divide this by 2, so you have this 2 8s are 16 and 2 6 are 12. Okay. So this is a little less than 5%. Okay. This is a little less than, this is between 4 to 5%. Okay, this is between 4 to 5%. And your denominator is also increasing. So basically, this is 225. Okay, 225 minus 212 divided by 225. So this will come to be how much? 13 divided by 225. Okay, now 10% of 225 is how much? 22.5. Fine, 10% of 225 is 22.5. Fine. So now if you see, uh, 10% is 22.5, and if you divide this by 2, it will be 11.25. So that means this is a little bit more than 5%. Okay, this is little bit more than 5%. है ना, 5 to 6% it will become, because yes, this will be between 5 to 6%. So this is increasing 4 to 5%. This is increasing 5 to 6%. So if this is increasing, then it is increasing. But this is increasing, then it is decreasing. And which one is increasing more? Denominator. So when denominator is increasing more, your ratio is decreasing. Okay, your ratio is decreasing. So that means this one will be um, this one will be less than this one. 173 divided by 212 is greater than 181 divided by 225. So this only we got when we were doing the last method. Okay, this is the same thing we got when we did the last method. So what I am saying here basically is that 173 divided by 212 and 181 divided by 225. If I have to compare these ratios, what I am doing, I am calculating the percentage change. So what is the percentage change here? We know 173 minus 181 is 8 divided by 173. Now you can calculate this. I got between 4 to 5%. Okay, I got between 4 to 5%. Similarly, 212 to 225. So that means 225 minus 212 divided by 212. That means 13 divided by 212. So if I am talking about 13 divided by 212, that means that 212 10% I am getting as sorry, this was 21.2. Okay, okay, sorry, this was 21.2 है ना, so 10% of this is 2.12. Fine. So 6% of this will come approximately equal to what? 13. Okay. So this is 6%. Okay. This is increasing 6%. So now there is even greater increase we are finding. Okay. I made a little bit of mistake there. Okay. So because they case 7 will become 14. So 6 is okay. So this is between 6 to 7%. Your denominator is increasing and numerator is increasing between 4 to 5%. So which one is increasing more? Denominator. But if denominator increases, ratio decreases. Okay. If denominator increases, your ratio decreases. So that means 173 divided by 212 when it is made 181 to 225. This is basically greater than this one, and this is the same thing when we did there. Okay, this is the same thing when we did there. So I hope everybody is clear with this thing. Now let's move forward. uh, Now see, if you have to find that if 20 by 40 becomes 22 by 50, okay, then what is the percentage change in the ratio? So for example, this ratio is 1 is to 2, 0.5, and this is becoming 22 by 50. So how can you calculate the percentage change in ratio? Okay, so to calculate this percentage change in ratio, what we are going to do here is this 20 divided by 40 and this is 22 by 50. So first see how much there is percentage change in the numerator. So 20 say this became 22, numerator became 20 say 22. So plus 2 means 10% change. Okay, 10% of 20 is how much? 2, and 22 is plus 2 more than this. So that means numerator is increasing by 10%. Okay, fine. And now 40 to 50. Okay, 40 to 50. How much is the percentage change? Okay, so percentage change between 40 to 50 is 10 divided by 100, because 50, sorry, 10 divided by 40 into 100. Okay, because you know 40 to 50, what is the difference between 50 and 40? 10. Okay, and 10 divided by 100. So 0 and 0 cancel. This is coming to be 25%. Okay, so 40 to 50, you are getting an increase of 25% in the denominator. Okay, you are getting an increase of 25% in the denominator. So what you have to do here, you will take 100 and 100 increase by 10%. So pehle we will do for numerator. Okay, so this will become 110. Okay, and then decrease this by 25%. Okay, decrease this by 25%. Okay, so this will become how much? See, uh, this is 110. Half of this is how much? 55, I guess. Okay, half of 110 is 55. And what is half of 55? This is 2 twos are 4. Okay, and this is 2 sevens are 14. So 27.5. Okay, so just subtract 110, say 27.5. So this will become 5. This will become 2. This will become how much? This will become 0. This will become 8. Okay, so this is coming to be how much? Okay, this is coming to be 82.5. है ना? So basically overall changes, your ratio is decreasing by how much? Your ratio is decreasing by 17.5%. Okay, your ratio is decreasing by 17.5%. Fine. So this is how you can find the percentage change in ratio. Fine. Let us look at this method once more so that everybody becomes very clear with this concept. Okay. So what is happening? There is 20 divided by 40 and that is 22 by 50. Okay. So 20 say 22 when we were going, numerator is increasing by 10%. Okay, and when 40 to 50 we are going, our new denominator is increasing by 25%. Now, what about ratio? What happens to the ratio? So, if this was 1 by 2, what is the percentage change in ratio? Okay, what is the percentage change in ratio? So, I am starting with 100. If 100 is increased by 10%, so that will become 110. And if this is decreased by 25%, so I already calculated 110 का half कितना होता है? 50% है ना? तो 110 का हाफ करेंगे तो 55 आएगा. 55 को डिवाइड करिए आप 2 से, so you will get 27.5. Okay, so just subtract 27.5 here, so you will get 82.5. So that means यहाँ से यहाँ you get 10% का increase and minus of 27.5%, that means minus of 17.5%, that means decrease of 17.5%, that means ratio decreases by 17.5%. Okay, ratio decreases by 17.5%. So I hope everybody is okay with this thing. Okay, let's move forward. So now let us study what is a proportion. So when two ratios are equal, the four quantities composing them are said to be in proportion. So for example, AB is equals to CD, that means A is to B, and this is in proportion with C is to D. Okay. So when two ratios are equal, these four quantities A, B, C, D are said to be in proportion. तो इसी को proportion कहते हैं. There is nothing else important in proportion. Okay. Now, uh, if somebody is saying to you that A, B, C, D are in proportion, so that means AD is equals to BC. Okay, so that means multiplication of the extremes is equals to the multiplication of the middle. Okay, so A, B, C, D, if it is said to be in proportion, so that means multiplication of the extreme is equal to the multiplication of the middle. So that means AD is equals to BC, or you can write A by B is equals to C by D. Okay, fine. Everybody, I think this is very clear to everybody. Everybody should understand that. Okay. Now, similarly, if we say AB and BC are in continued proportion, so that means what? AC is equals to B square, and this is what? This is the geometric mean as well. Okay, this is the geometric mean as well. So if somebody is saying to you that if three quantities A, B, and C are in continued proportion, that means AC is equals to B square. Okay, so I hope everybody is clear with this thing. Okay, let's move forward. Now see, if three quantities are proportional, the first is to second is to the third is the duplicate ratio of the first to the second. Okay, so basically what it is saying ki if AB and BC are in proportion, so that means what? A divided by C is equals to A square divided by B square. Okay, so please remember this. This is an important property. And now see, this statement is little bit complex, but let us understand what it is saying. It is saying that if three quantities are proportional, which three quantities? A, B, C. Okay, if these are in proportional, then the first is to third is the duplicate ratio of first is to second. So it is saying the first is to third. So first is to third is A by C. Okay, is the duplicate ratio of first is to second. So that means A square by B square. So this is what it is meaning. Okay, this is what it is meant here. So I hope now you are clear with this complex statement as well. Now let's move forward. Okay, so now we study some of the important properties of the proportion. So if A by B is equals to C by D, then you can also do the invertendo. Okay, you must have done this in your basic maths classes. If not, then also we are studying this. Okay, so A by B is equals to C by D. So B by A is equals to D by C. Okay, B by A is equals to D by C. Alternando means A by B is equals to C by D. That means um, A by C is equals to B by D. So invertendo में means you have to invert. Invert मतलब A by B को B by A कर दीजिए, ठीक है? सॉरी, दिस इज नॉट इक्वल. ए बाई बी को बी बाई ए कर दीजिए, एंड इफ यू डू डी बाई सी को, सॉरी, सी बाई डी को इफ वी इन्वर्ट एंड डू डी बाई सी, then even these are also equal. So that means invertendo. What does alternando means? A by B is equal to C by D. Alternando means A, uh, here you bring C and here you put B. Okay, so A by C is equals to B by D. That is also true. And what is the meaning of componendo? Componendo means we make a component. So किसका component बनाएंगे? A by B is equals to C by D. So what I will do here, I will do addition of B and divided by B, and C plus D and divided by D. That is also equal. Okay, that is also equal. And what is the meaning of componendo and dividendo? So first let us understand what is dividendo. So dividendo is what? A by B divided by C by D. So that means dividendo will also be equal. That means A minus B divided by B is equals to C minus D divided by D. Fine. That is also fine. And componendo and dividendo together. Okay. So if A by B is equals to C by D, that means A plus B divided by A minus B is also equal to C plus D divided by C minus D. So I hope everybody is clear with these properties. These properties will come in very handy in the topic of proportion. Okay.